Welcome to this live stream from First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Our mission is to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. We invite you to visit our website at www.ucdsm.org. It's a great way to explore all that our church has to offer, from adult programs, to religious education, to social justice work, and more. Today's service will look a little different. We're temporarily holding services in Griffin Hall while we renovate our auditorium. It's a small inconvenience and a welcome sign of our thriving and growing church community. Today's service is about to begin. So now we'll take you inside Griffin Hall.
In a time of uncertainty, when everything around us is changing constantly, when the world we live in seems upside down and topsy-turvy, we light our chalice to remind ourselves of our grounding in our faith. We remember that the flaming chalice came into being as a beacon of hope during World War II, a secret symbol that offered help. In the midst of it all, we wrap ourselves in the warm light of a familiar flame, a reminder of the strength that emerges when we come together in community.
Dominic, he, him, or his.
Hello, I'm Gianfranco, he, him, his.
Dante, she, her.
And Laura, she, her. Please join with us in the chalice lighting words in your order of service.
We kindle light, and with it possibility, that we are more than the sum of our parts, that the world is more than a problem to solve, that illumination is more than simple flame.
We light the chalice and open to possibility.
First try. I win.
And now let us pass the peace. Some folks love to move about and greet one another. Some folks prefer a little personal space. Let us follow the platinum rule and do unto others what they wish. And after you're done passing the peace, you can remain standing for our opening hymn.
You do not have this song in the hymnal, but you do have ears and voices. Bruce, if you... Thank you. And it goes like this. Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? That's it. Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change, you got it, is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Two more times. Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? I think you're memorized. Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Thank you. Please have a seat.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Elijah Evans, he, him, your celebrant this morning. Welcome. Welcome all genders, ethnicities, bodies, and stories. Whatever you are carrying with you, whatever you long to set down or pick up today, may you find here the love, support, and encouragement you seek. A special welcome to those who are new or new-ish to this community. We have a wonderful coffee hour after the service that we hope you will all join for good food and fellowship. Fear not, people. Worries about creek erosion and a deteriorating parking lot will soon be over. But that means, starting in early September, you won't be able to use the lower parking lot for quite a while. So now is the time to plan where you might park during this time. Most of us can use the giant lot across Bell Avenue and save our upper parking lot and spaces along Cassidy for folks with mobility issues. Watch the intercom for updates.
Good morning. My name is Hillary Hippen. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm here on behalf of the adult programming team. I'd venture to guess that you, like me, took the time to drive to this building this morning or log in from home because You're seeking something more in your life. You want to move past the small talk. You're hungry for deep, meaningful conversation, true, intentional connections, space where you can bring your whole self. Well, then have I got a deal for you. Registration is open for fall adult programming. If you're ready to take a small step toward finding what you're no doubt seeking, please register for one or more of the groups and classes open for registration. Those include small group ministry, soul matters, UU writers, creativity matters, circle suppers, reclaiming the gospels with Reverend Steve, living well for seniors, politics and policies, and a list longer that I will spare you. Please register by September 1st, online or after the service. As to small groups and circle suppers, you can expect to hear about your placement within the next few weeks. Becky Evans will be near the auditorium to help with registrations after the service. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Steve Seek. I'm honored to serve as your minister. I use he, him pronouns. As you use, we gather together not bound by a creed or a dogma, but we hold ourselves together by promises, which we call covenants. Will you join with me in reading together our congregation's mission? We covenant together to advance our mission, to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. And so now I'd like to test you on your memory of the 4-bar song that I just taught you here. Let's take it one more time, and then I'm going to teach the second part. So we'll just do this once to test your memory. Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Good, that's an A. Everyone's advanced on to the second tier choir. This part goes like this. I know from brokenness there's whole. I know from brokenness there's whole. I know. You're getting there. From brokenness there's whole. I know. From brokenness there's hope. And you probably figured it out that they go together now. So can you lead everyone in the change is coming, and then we'll do the fun part. Okay, ready? Change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Change is coming. Keep going. What do we need to imagine? I know from brokenness there's whole. I know from brokenness there's whole. I know. We'll stop here. From brokenness there's whole. Perfect. No notes. Thank you all. Thank you. It's fun every now and then to be a choir director again. Lord, is it I? Sorry, Samuel. I offer this moment for us to settle into our seats, to feel your breath moving gently in and out, to feel your back expanding against your chair and your jaw relaxing. These words are the lyrics from one of my very favorite songs by Jason Robert Brown, a song called All Things in Time. Let us hear them as a meditation. All things in time, if not today, if not tomorrow, then all things in time. We can't predict what comes to pass. All we control is how we react and how we recover. It's something like faith deep in our skin, everything in its time. All things in time. Some things come quick, some things come easy, but all things will come if given the chance, given the room. I can't decide the length of a day, the depth of an ocean. I just decide what to explore. Maybe it's just wanting it more. Want it enough? Let it begin. Everything in its time. There's no way to know. No guarantees, nothing but choices. There's plenty to lose. There's plenty to fear. Let's make a deal. I'll be here waiting with you, trusting what's true, knowing we'll find everything in its time. We welcome forward John.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Morrow, and I use he, him pronouns. And I serve on the pastoral care team. I'm a pastoral care associate for your congregation. If you're experiencing a major life change, whether joyful, sorrowful, or something more complex, the pastoral care team is here for you. Sometimes just having someone to listen can make all the difference. There are several ways to reach us: by emailing pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org, visiting the Caring Community page on our website, dropping a card in the Cares and Concerns box, calling or texting our phone number posted at the desk outside the auditorium, or speaking with me or any member of our team. Let us send our love to Larry Bridison, who had heart surgery this past Monday. Larry is recovering very well. Cards are welcome. No visitors at this time. We know a lot is going on in your lives, and people are weighing on your hearts. Let us speak the names of those who could use extra care, saying them aloud or holding them silently. As we share these names, may the love of our community surround us all. Kyle. We now light 3 candles. 1 candle for the joys, 1 candle for the sorrows, and 1 candle for all that's held silently among us. For all of these, we now observe a minute of silence.
breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
As a commitment to the spiritual practice of gratitude, I will now share one of our UU recognition cards from the board behind us. Deep appreciation to Lynn and Carrie George for the many ways they show up and serve in this community. We now take up our morning offering as a practice of our generosity, for in giving we receive. I've always been a little selfish, but I try not to let this be a fault. Especially as an adult, I've tried hard not to place my needs above those of others, but I do know the value of getting mine. I'm the third child of 4, and when you are as cute, charming, and humble as I was as a little brother, people naturally want to look out for you. As I grew up, I became the sort of person who took meticulous care of himself. Up until recently, I was diligent about regular exercise, a clean diet, healthy sleep habits, seeking out intellectual stimulation, and taking my joints through a full range of motion every day. I found each of those habits to be highly rewarding. Being a health nut who was a little selfish yielded a clear mind and a healthy body, both of which I cherish deeply. Prioritizing my self-care worked very well for me until about 3 months ago. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but babies are pretty needy. With her arrival, our 3-month-old daughter Alice, miracle that she is, instantly shredded the behavioral routines that had kept me so happy and healthy. So you could say I'm in a bit of a transition. Fatherhood instantaneously infused a tremendous sense of responsibility into my life, and I'm still figuring out what it looks like to take care of myself while caring for our little creature. One of the most consistent observations my work as a mental health counselor has provided is that transitions wreak havoc on a person's mental health. I've watched countless examples of how changes like breakups, deaths, job changes, and yes, births have acted as disruptions that upend a person's previous ways of being. To understand why transitions are so psychologically challenging, I think it's worth doing a brief exploration of the duty our brains have as information processors. Your brain is responsible for making an ever-changing world navigable enough for you to be able to meet your various needs within it. This is a tall task, both because you have a lot of needs and because that brain of yours has to figure out the world while locked within the darkness and quiet of your skull. The only information our brains get about the world we inhabit is from the electrochemical signals it gets from the rest of our nervous system. So in order to cope with such complexity, our brain has to take shortcuts. Rather than passively receive the world as it is, it builds models of how it believes the world is and updates these models when it encounters inaccuracies. You may have experienced this prediction error if you've ever thought there was one more step to the staircase and you've suddenly discovered the floor instead. The moment you realize what's gone wrong, you must reorient yourself to the new reality. Our reliance upon predictions makes uncertainty very costly. When our predictions about how life should work do not suffice, we are forced to update our mental models, and without certainty about what updates are needed, it is easy to feel stuck and trapped. Feelings of confusion and helplessness are extremely disruptive and quickly make us feel threatened and defensive, which is why we are typically so touchy and difficult when we're struggling. In my case, this has resulted in frustration. Given that I don't have access to my usual repertoire of self-care behaviors, and I'm unsure when or how I'll be able to reincorporate them, I have found myself more irritable. My previous strategy of defaulting to selfishness is no longer applicable, and I'm still in the process of updating it. It certainly helps to be raising such a wonderful child, but the sacrifices she requires are still a high price. Thankfully, my work helping others through their difficult transitions has yielded some insight about what makes this process go as smoothly as possible. What I have noticed is that flexibility is paramount. Given the transitions demand we revise our outdated models of how our worlds work, rigidly clinging on to familiar ideas of how things should go slows down the process. Openness to transformation is where this flexibility is found. It is our willingness to entertain new beliefs that allows us to discover new ways to perceive the world that better accommodate our new realities. My other key observation for navigating transitions is the stabilizing function of trusting relationships. In therapy, the most important controllable predictor of therapeutic outcomes is the quality of the relationship between the therapist and the client. Feeling safe in a relationship allows us to more openly explore new ways of being. We are more free to try on new ideas when we feel we are in trusted company. So in my case, I know how important my marriage is in helping me survive parenthood. In the case of the changes we are all expecting to navigate together, it is the warmth, affirmation, and trust we build among ourselves that will help us find our new footing. May the kindness we share with one another feed the courage we'll need to change ourselves in the face of a changing world.
Some people are good at moving. There are whole professions like traveling nurses. You live in a city for 3 to 4 months, you serve, and then you move to the next place. I'm not that person. I'm not great at moving. I like routines. I like knowing my way around the grocery store. I have a favorite pharmacy tech. I know the right hour at the gym to avoid the crowds. I say this because I moved 13 months ago, and it was hard for me. It was hard for my family. Yes, a new state, a new driver's license, a new city, a new home. It shook up everything that we knew. The kids had to find new schools, new neighbors, new friends. We had to find a new grocery store, and that's complicated in Des Moines. We had to make new habits, and change is harder when you like your routines. Now, to be clear, this was a great change. I had clarity about why I was moving. There was a deep sense of purpose and call in this move. And in fact, I would say the change of cities happened because I was living into that purpose. And yet I knew what I had in Appleton. I knew what I wanted to have in Des Moines. It's the space in between. The wilderness between Egypt and the Promised Land, so to speak. That's the hard part. That's the destabilizing part. Not there yet, but no longer here. I've been thinking about this. I wonder if folks who've been around here for a while can relate to a sense of destabilization, right, in 2017. A sense that we know we're no longer here, but we also don't know what there is yet. I offer a beautiful paragraph from the packet that your search committee put together for Ministers in Search in 2025. As our sesquicentennial approaches, our 275 members can look back on our history with pride, stand firm in knowing our core principles have not wavered despite challenging times, and look to the future with hope and resolve for all that may yet be. All that may yet be, that won me. That was such a beautiful expression because it captures something true about change. When you live into your purpose, when you follow your principles, you change. As Octavia Butler so famously says, all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change, end quote. In other words, when we as a congregation live into our value of radical welcome, new people come here. That changes who we are. I'll give a moment for that one. When we show our generosity and invest in the resources we have here, the building changes. When we show up for justice work in the city, we and the city change together. We grow and we change because of purpose. The hard part, as Elijah so beautifully shares, is how to center love through it, how to notice our irritability. Being extra patient with my children this year, for example, because they no longer had any friends or adults or familiar streets. Being patient with myself the first week I moved here, realizing how much more humid it is here. And again, I wonder if we can relate as a congregation the time of transition over these last years, how we could find love for ourselves and others as we changed. Because we're in a big season of change here now, and that's where we find a deeper sense of purpose, a clarity in our mission. Your search was completed. You've installed a minister like a cabinet. And as the song by Jason Robert Brown says, there's no way to know, there's no guarantees, there's nothing but choices. There's plenty to lose and plenty to fear. But let's make a deal. I will be here waiting with you, trusting what's true, knowing we'll find everything in its time. All things in time. How do we navigate change as we live into our mission and purpose, which brings about that change. Adrienne Marie Brown, the scholar of emergent strategy, says, "The clearer you are as a group about where you're going, the more you can relax into collaborative innovation around how to get there." Where are we going? Where are we heading as First Unitarian? What is the North Star that we sail towards? Most of the time in a sermon, I ask an unanswerable question for rhetorical effect. Here at last, I actually have a ready answer, my answer at least, of where are we going. We're going toward liberation. We're going toward the flourishing of all people. I'd go so far as to say, if you challenged me to summarize in one sentence, what is the purpose of Unitarian Universalism, I would say it is for the liberation and flourishing of all people. I would say it to Garrison Keillor's face. The purpose is the liberation and flourishing of all people. That you are loved and loving, that you and I should be free from unnecessary suffering. And as our congregation's packet for ministers and church pointed out beautifully, this church has done that liberatory work for 149 years already, supporting women's liberation, black liberation, gay liberation, trans liberation. And at our best, all these changes centered in love. Now, the problem when Brown says that the clearer you are about where you're going is that liberation and flourishing are not a spot on the map like Altoona. See, I've been here long enough to know what Altoona is. We can't point to it and say that's where we're going. So heaven knows where we're going, but we know within. And working for the liberation and flourishing of all people is not something that has a 5-point action plan. So heaven knows how we'll get there. But we know we will. Adrienne Marie Brown says, "Many of us respond to change with fear or see it as a crisis. Some of us anticipate change with an almost titillating sense of stress. We spend precious time thinking about what has changed that we didn't choose or can't control, or thinking ahead to future stress." And I offer this reflection on that. Yup. We do so much. I feel like she's speaking to me. There's a spot in Jesus' Sermon on the Mount that I feel like is a direct attack on me personally. You're wondering which one now. Jesus is quoted as saying, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life or what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life?" I think many of us have been in the meeting where you try to solve in advance any possible problems that may come out of the plan you're making. You see, we are blessed with adult prefrontal cortices that can predict all the ways a thing could go wrong. And so we'll spend so many hours in that meeting mitigating all the disaster scenarios. And honestly, why not, right? If one of those 20 disaster scenarios happens, you'll be awfully glad that you had that plan ready. Certainly better than the regret of carelessness. But I'm making it sound like an either-or proposition, that you either have to choose between worrying yourself sick about anything, or don't even worry about what you'll wear. Adrienne Marie Brown suggests that often our fear of change is because, quote, "we aren't clear or committed about our dream destination, so instead of moving toward anything in particular, we're in nonstop reaction." She says a first question to ask ourselves is, how do we practice increasing our ease with what is? Change happens. Change is definitely going to happen no matter what we plan or expect or hope for or set in place. End quote. So let's practice ease with what is and what is becoming. Let's talk about changes underway here at First Unitarian, because we have so many changes going on here this fall. And as I list them, you may even start to feel, what does she call it, a titillating sense of stress. We're changing because we're growing. I'm sorry for the folks that have to stand in the back, but also I'm delighted that we have folks having to stand in the back. We're growing so much that we need to change our Sunday morning schedule this fall and add a second service. Now, we had an amazing second service team that met all summer. They examined what kind of a service, when, how, for whom. They have a great plan. This year, we'll try the second service as an experiment. If it takes off, great, that's good to know. If it fails to take off, great, that's good to know. All we control once we do that is how we react and recover. Here's what you need to know in the highlights of the second service. It starts September 20th, so 4 weeks from today. Our main service scoots to 9:15. That's our institutional memory, right? 9:15 and 11. So it'll be at 9:15 in the auditorium, then a shared coffee hour all together, 10:15 to 11. And the second service starts at 11 in Griffin Hall. It'll have the same topic, the same theme, but a different format. Expect more of a prompting question that leads to conversation in small groups. Expect that after I share my sermon, I'll say, well, what do you think? And we'll talk in small groups and as a big group. It's a much simpler liturgy and much more time in discussion with one another. This service will be great for folks who share UU values of liberation and the flourishing for all people, but they're not about the vibe of pews and hymnals and pulpits. It's a great service for people who want to wrestle with a topic together. Because we're growing and changing and adding a second service at Sundays at 11, we needed to figure out what to do to support the forum. I had gone in with the assumption that the forum would be concurrent in the auditorium, but the more adult programming and second service team and others talked, the less we liked pitting two similar programs against one another at the same time. We looked at every possibility we could think of. In the end, we've decided to pause the forum this fall. We'll definitely need a few forum-style events over the year to talk about stewardship or capital campaign or annual budget. We will make the time for that in a way that supports your participation. I want to recognize that many of us have grown deeply from our incredible forum series, and I want to thank everyone, particularly the adult programming team, who put those together. I want to honor how much forum has contributed to our congregational life during that transitionary time from here to there. Because we're growing, we need more faith formation offerings. You can hear it underneath us right now. Today starts the program year for our children. There are 3 different classrooms running right now in the lower level. Here's a fun statistic to help get a sense of how much things are changing. Last year at this time, we had 8 kids participating in one classroom. This year, we have 15 or 16 4 to 6-year-olds. Bless them. Yeah. I'm counting 3 babies in the back here right now. Speaking of which, most of our kids are starting school tomorrow. They're excited. I'm excited. When we finish our service today, if this is voluntary, but I hope you'll join with me in this, we'll come into the hallway, starting at the kitchen, right, and line both sides of the hallway and sort of put our hands like that. And the children will come through the living church of us, and they'll meet in the back with me, doing a backpack blessing, and their parent or guardian. So if you're a parent or guardian of that kid that you need to pick up, you just go straight to I would call it the narthex, but that seems formal. So the kids will come up here and pass through. Again, if that's not your style, that's okay, but as many of us as can make sort of a living bridge, and they'll go underneath it there. I asked 4 different staff members, what is that called? When people hold their hands like that, and I got no answers. Do you have a name for it? The human tunnel, yeah. So that'll happen right after the service. Because we're growing, we need to find ways to support one another in love through changes. We have more opportunities. I reached out to folks who have kids registered in faith formation, and I said, hey, would a parent support group be helpful? I got over 30 yeses in the first week. We had found an unmet need. We need 2 parent support groups that are going to meet monthly. All who are navigating the joys or sorrows or complexity of parenting are warmly welcome. And we've recently rebooted our Windbreakers men's group. I laugh every time. to provide a space for all male-identifying folks to enjoy fellowship and support. And we're offering a new class, Living Well for Seniors, to support people as they navigate all of the changes with aging, and a terrific forum today at 11 on that topic. Because we're growing, we're ready to reboot programs that we missed when we were here, but weren't yet ready for there. Wednesday nights is something I heard a lot about when I was interviewing here. Congregational Life and Adult Program have been working and continue to build second and fourth Wednesdays, starting in September, second and fourth Wednesdays. Come for a meal, stay for small group ministry or soul matters or book study or youth group or young adult group, because the change is coming. So what do we need to imagine? A community that's growing and supporting one another in love. I mean, you can see it, can't you? You can feel that change. Because we're growing, our policies are changing, or more precisely, because we're growing, Tracy and I took a moment to be responsible stewards of the organization and make sure that our policies are up to date and clear and responsible. I want to lift up Tracy Aukus, our church administrator, who spent this summer thoughtfully and carefully going through our policy handbook, removing the extraneous or the out-of-date ones, if you have a VHS, place it here. Or there would be something about the topic here and something 10 pages later, right, bringing things together. All of those drafts made it to my desk, which I then reviewed. And I think we have a really good up-to-date policy book. Now, even the best policies in the world are no good if no one's read them. I could tell you here that our policies handbook is in this spot of Realm or in this spot of the website, but I don't think that's capturing every reader. So we'll send along our new policy book, which is mostly our old policy book, in an email in the next week or so. Take a few minutes, look it over, at least save it to your device so that you know, how do I do a rental here? If I do a rental here, what are the alcohol use policies, things like that. Now, are you ready for this one? Because we're growing, our building is changing. I don't know if you've noticed. The auditorium renovations are going well and quickly. The auditorium carpet and seats will be installed this week. We'll start services in the auditorium on September 13th. That's our big water communion service. The family support room in the rear there will be ready by the end of October. And I'm just saying that the stage will be done on Christmas. And if it happens before then, great. Meanwhile, things outside are going to change a lot. Starting mid-September, they'll fence off the large parking lot. They will excavate the creek. And I need you to attend to this. They will tear out many trees as part of the creek stabilization project. And I want to pause here because it will be a shock. We are not doing this because we are the bad guys in the Lorix. We have to widen the creek bed and slope it out to reduce the erosion and improve the quality of water that we send to Grace Lake. We will be planting new trees, to be sure. A derecho could have taken them out too. We will use many of the trees that will be felled as part of the creek stabilization itself. It's called root wads. I just want to let you know it will be visually a big change and a hard one. I will be at the Memorial Garden outside right down there at 10:45 leading a brief ceremony to share gratitude and grief, because it will be a big change. So if this calls to you, please join me outside this morning at 10:45. We'll read a poem. We'll share some words. It's all going to be good. It will just be a shock. Meanwhile, we'll be ripping out I called it a bridge, but apparently it's a walkway. We'll have to rip that one out, install new abutments. There will be a new bridge coming in mid-October on a truck, like a 60-foot bridge, so that should be a watch party. The parking lot gets regraded, there's new concrete, then the concrete has to cure. The short version is from mid-September to early November. You drop your friends and family off in the south lot and then park across Bell. Oh yeah, a new elevator right there in January and a new south entrance in the spring. Now, we've known about these changes, we've planned for them, we've fundraised for them, we've discussed them in more meetings than you can imagine. But now we live through them. And the truth is, you don't get a new bridge or a better parking lot without getting rid of the old one. You don't get a new updated auditorium without having to move services in here for a few months. We're living in the changes now, which means all we control is how we react and how we recover. Centering love. Because we're growing, we take this opportunity to reinvest in our social justice commitments. Faith in Action challenged us as they stepped down to say, what next? What do we do next? We had a beautiful Justice Summit in late July to reflect on what are the challenges we're facing in this world, in this community now, and what are our gifts and our resources. We'll do another summit in October where we discern the overlap. Which causes and organizations are we called to be in partnership with? And we'll continue to do one-time days of action, as Reverend Aaron put it, where we can, for example, help get out the vote this fall. I'm grateful for the change. I'm grateful to have moved from there to here. I still have an opinion about the humidity, but I've accepted it. I'd say it curls my hair, but... This move for me has been a purposeful change that is centered in love. The change is coming. What do we need to imagine? Join me in imagining a church whose beautiful up-to-date facilities are there so that we may teem with life and life abundant. Church as a hub where all generations are supported and loved, where services and programs encourage deepening and growth, and where justice flows like streams. Or as we put it, where we love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. Because when we pursue this mission, we don't know where we'll be in 10 years, but we know within. We don't know how we will get there, but we know we will. And we recognize that the road will sometimes be muddy and rough, but we know we'll get there. So let's make a deal. I will be here, waiting with you, trusting what's true, knowing we'll find all things in time. Amen.
There we go. Okay, I'm taller now. Please rise in body and spirit as you are willing or able to sing with me hymn number 1020, Wo Ya Ya, in our teal hymnal.
Please join us in saying the extinguishing chalice words in your order of service by our own Reverend Birchcue. Take this as an invitation to cross thresholds of challenge, not on our own, not for ourselves alone, but side by side, spirits rising and expanding together,
May you go in courage, go in peace, go in love, and go to the hallway after the hymnal for the blessing.
As this live stream from First Unitarian Church comes to an end, remember that previous live streams can be found on our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you in person someday. Until then, thanks for joining us.